Hey there. Here's a first generation Trekker or Trailmaster in Europe with beautiful Bubingo wood scales. These are custom made by yours truly, and I have a 2-minute slideshow to show you some tricks and tips for doing that if you'd like to do it yourself. It's really pretty simple, but you're going to need a couple of things. The first thing that you need is a proper piece of wood. The mistake that I see that most people make when they make wooden scales for their Swiss Army knives is they get a piece of wood that's too thick. Now, a thicker piece of wood allows you to contour it or put some cheek to it, but it makes for a knife that's much thicker than the original. So what I did was I sourced hardwood in 1/8 inch pieces, which is not easy to find, but I found a great source online, Rockler Woodworking. And they have fairly small pieces. This is a piece that I've already cut a couple blanks off the end of hardwoods in 1/8 inch thickness. And that's just perfect for making scales for Swiss Army knives. They've got walnut, they have cocobolo, leopard wood. This is Bubinga, and this is the heartwood from a big tree in equatorial Africa. So the 1/8 inch is good to start with. What you'll need next, obviously, is a knife. You need to pop the scales off. You're going to use the first set of scales you pop off as a template. So you're going to ruin those for all other purposes, but once you make one set, you can use that set over and over again. So this is the second time around that I've done this, so I get to keep my scales this time. I keep them nice. I'm using my set that I sacrificed from the very first project. So what you'll do is you'll take that wood, you'll trace it out, you'll cut it out on a bandsaw, which I happen to have a little one, or you could use a handheld jigsaw, or you could use just a handheld coping saw. Go manual if you'd like. You just get it close. You want to leave a little extra, and then what you do is you come and you clamp those wood blanks to your templates. And then you sand them or grind them down right to the edge so you have a very precise size. I use a Dremel with a sanding wheel. You could use hand sandpaper, a file, whatever you want. Now once you do that, and I skipped this step in the slideshow, but you want to unclamp the wood from the template, and you want to go ahead and round those edges. You want a radius here, you don't want any square edges. Again, I do that with a Dremel sanding wheel. And come back and then finish up by hand with sandpaper and get it nice and smooth. But before I do that, you need to drill the holes in the back side. That's the hardest part. You're going to need to use your scales as a template again. This is why I have drilled all the way through where you see the Victorinox collar snap in. I'll go ahead and I clamp this to the knife up backwards, inside out, and mark where I'm going to drill my holes. So you get a very precise location of your holes. Then you're going to need, obviously, the proper size flat bottom drill bit or router bit to drill the holes. And you're going to need something to stop the drill very precisely. So either a drill press or stops that go on your bit, but you've got to be very careful not to drill through this thin little piece of wood. It's very easy to do, and you're going to ruin your whole project. So take a scrap piece of wood and practice with it and get your setup just right before you go ahead and commit to hitting those holes on the back of your piece of wood. Once you've done that, then in this case they practically snapped on. Mix up a little two-part epoxy, dab it in the holes, smear it around anywhere else you like because there's no toothpick or tweezers. Don't put too much, or when you clamp it or squeeze it in the vise, it's going to come squirting out. If you do get some that comes out around the edges, just have a rag with some isopropyl alcohol handy so you can wipe that right away. When it's set, I took a little orange oil and beeswax and rubbed it down. It gave it this nice, rich, deeper red appearance. And it's a very, as you can see, get some focus going here, it's a very precise fit. And everything works just really nicely. I like this knife. It's, like I said, it's the first generation Trekker. I think they stopped making these about 10 years ago. It's got that oval hole instead of a round hole. And it also has a liner lock release that's just a lot slimmer or lower profile. I find this much more comfortable. I like the looks of this hole better too. It may not be as practical, but I like the looks of it and the comfort of it better. And I thought that that made this knife special enough to warrant the time and expense of doing custom scales. But it's not so rare that, it's not rare, so I didn't feel like I couldn't alter it. All right, babinga, baby. Thanks for watching.